All right, I'm back, everyone. How are we doing? Welcome back into the stream. I apologize. We had to go use the restroom, but we're back now. All right. We're going to go ahead and get that next guest up in the live right now. If you're in that queue on the Discord, make sure that you voted for Trump. We got Florida Man 46 loading in. Hey, what's going on, Florida Man? Do you support Trump?
So, use the restroom.
All right, Florida Man is not in here. We are going to go ahead and move them back to the queue, moving on to the next guest. Make sure if you are in that queue that you do indeed support Trump, y'all. Once again, that queue is over on Discord. And if you would like to support me, you can find my Venmo and the PayPal in the pinned message over on the YouTube stream. What is going on? Crying Johnny, do you support the president? Crying Johnny, I'm going to give you 5 seconds here to speak. Crying Johnny's not here. We're going to go ahead and disconnect him. Let's go ahead and move on to Cam. Here we go. What's going on, Cam? Do you support Trump? Cam is also not here. Nobody's here, man.
I'm here.
Hi, Cam.
Hello.
Cam, I think that you're a child, so I'm going to disconnect you. Hey, Mike, do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Why is that?
I mostly am against everything the left has done since around 2016. That's mainly why I voted for the Republican candidate. So I remember when you guys were, not that I 100% supported these things, but I remember the free college, legalizing marijuana. It's okay to get married if you're gay. Those types of issues, I feel like the left focused on men. Now I feel it's just a bunch of weird anti-white rhetoric, and the trans issue, which I think is probably one of the weirdest issues and one of the weirdest hills that the left would be dying on. But I think the left is just taking a shift. The Democratic Party's taken a shift away from talking about free healthcare, free college to, white people owe this world something, and there's 52 genders, and giving puberty blockers to children's a good idea. But I've talked enough. You go ahead. What would you like to add to that?
Okay, well, first, I'm really interested in everything you just said, and I'd love to respond to it, but you said something about being anti-white.
Very.
Okay,
That's
can
actually
you
one of the
describe the
primary
anti-white agenda of the left to me?
Yeah, so DEI is a program that basically just aims to hire less white people, particularly white men. That's people's jobs, that's people's work. I've talked to people on the left who try to flat out deny that that's the goal of DEI, but I've had other people on the left be
if the
honest
goal
with
of
me.
so do you think that like DEI is now like heavily ingrained in our country, like specifically large companies?
They would like it to be. It's being pushed
Is
back
it?
because it's openly
No.
discriminatory.
No,
And it's in
I'm just
several.
curious. Like, if
Oh, I
DEI
do.
is like just kind of like pushing white men out of these very powerful positions, like,
They would
why do
like
we
to.
see that a disproportionate amount of like all Fortune 500 CEOs, institutional
Excellent
leaders, and even
question,
American
Dean.
presidents are all white men?
Excellent question. Excellent question. So first off, it actually is meant to target really powerful white guys. It only targets men in like middle class or looking for entry level jobs, which is the sad part. But if you look at the statistics of who is earning the least likely to be unemployed, the most likely to have an advanced college degree, to earn the most money, those are all number one, Asian American man, number two, Asian American woman, and then number three, white man, and then number four, white woman. So white men are not the top earners in this country. They're not the most likely to get a college degree. They're not the most likely to own a home or own a business. Asian man, number one, Asian woman, number two, actually are taking those titles in the United States. And even if that wasn't true,
Wait, I was just
I
sorry.
don't feel like
Can you repeat what you just said?
Yes, sir. Which part?
Well, I'm sorry. Like so you're saying that like white men are not the top income earners in America?
No, Asian American man number one is number one.
Okay.
Asian
So
American
the reason
Asian American woman is number 2.
So the reason why I find this to be quite misleading is because when we look at like net worth, what we see is that the demographic in which would hold the largest net worth in our country would be white men. Now, I'd also like to point out here.
You mean because we're the
I
majority population? That doesn't mean we owe this world something because the majority of people in this country are white.
so
That doesn't
I
mean
think
we
that
owe this world something.
so this isn't like a majority statistic. This is going to be per capita. But I'd also like to point out,
So was
if you'd
the
allow
other
me,
one I gave was per capita.
if you'd allow
Go
me
ahead.
to finish.
Yeah, go ahead. I don't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
So I don't know. When we look at this view of what party is more focused on accelerating individuals because of their abilities, because of their accomplishments, because of their merit, compared to the party that wants to like hold other individuals down regardless of their abilities, accomplishments, or merit, I actually see that the left is more focused on platforming individuals with accomplishments, aptitudes, and merit compared to the right. And the reason that I'd say that is because like all DI is it's a tool to enable individuals that do have merit, that are accomplished, and are very well at performing within like different careers in our country, to have the same opportunity to do so as others that they may have less opportunity than in America today. Like for instance, I'd say like a pragmatic application of DEI, like say in the workforce, is just ensuring that you're not going to have your job application rejected because you're a woman, because you're trans, because you're black. Okay. Right. And it's
There's
just
no proof that's
anti-discriminatory. It actually
There's no
is.
proof any of that's happening. It's
What
not
is
happening,
it?
Dean.
What is it about? What are the stats about trans individuals? I think that trans individuals are like 60 times less likely to get accepted for a job given the same merit and same merit, same degree, same background as like their cis gendered counterpart. And then it's also like being accepted or rejected for a bank loan, etc. And then also, I mean, if we just look at like the two cabinets, I'd say that Donald Trump probably has one of the most underqualified presidential cabinets we've ever seen. You know, it's like apparently Biden and Harris were all about DEI. Well, I mean, holy shit, dude. They definitely didn't put a Fox News anchor to be to be the Secretary of Defense in this country that had never served in a single leadership position in the American military. I mean, that's just
Dean,
brutal.
I will.
Also, do you think
I'm
that
gonna
Kamala
give
Harris
that
was a
administration
DEI
time.
candidate?
Absolutely, 100%. And I'll just finish with Trump's cabinet, and then I'll explain how I 100% believe that about Kamala Harris. I'm going to give his cabinet time. It's only been a few months. There's been things about the Trump administration I'm not crazy about. Like they said they were going to release the Epstein files. That was kind of weird what they did there. I mean, I could be critical on my side as well. I am going to give him time. I'm going to give him a chance. I mean, obviously nobody's like seeing what's going on with the stock market, but I'm willing to give him a chance. I'm not just going to jump down his throat and start hammering for not getting results as soon as possible. Kamala Harris was polling, and by the way, I mean, she's a qualified woman. She was a senator, attorney, district attorney. I'm not saying she wasn't qualified, but she was polling dead last in the primaries when she ran with Biden. And I'm pretty confident when he said something like, I'm going to choose a black woman as my vice president, and then he chooses Kamala Harris. It was a race-based decision he made.
Okay.
And, she's not, listen, she's not a bad woman. She wasn't like a dumb woman. I know she had like a weird laugh and shit, but she wasn't a horrible person. As the media will make her out to be. Anybody in politics, they make you look horrible. I worked in politics for years. That's what they do. They make you look like shit.
Do you mind if I finish real quick?
Go ahead, Dean. Yep,
right.
Go ahead.
So first and foremost, the only statement that Biden has made about like the candidate he'd be picking, saying that he's going to pick a woman, was at the DNC prior to his nomination back in 2020. And I think that was like an incredibly smart decision. I think that like more representation of women inside a leadership position, specifically in our government, isn't only a good thing because representation is good, but it's also a good thing because at the end of the day, a woman is going to be able to better understand the struggles of women compared to a man. I mean, that's just like saying that.
But you did just admit that he chose for based on.
Mike, I let you speak forever.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Go ahead. I appreciate it. Go ahead.
A woman is going to be able to better understand the issues of other women compared to a man ever would be. I mean, I feel like that's pretty obvious. That's like saying that a billionaire is going to be able to better understand like the issues of what it's like to live as a low income American compared to another low income American. So like the idea of like Biden running with a woman as his vice president isn't just a good idea for more representation in the government as kind of like a simplistic idea, but also it's very pragmatic and it'd be able to better serve to the constituents of this country to produce the most effective outcomes possible. But I think my thing here is if you're saying that Kamala Harris was picked because of her race or her gender, not because of her qualifications, what the fuck does this tell us about Donald Trump?
I think you just said that.
No, I did
not. I think you just said that.
No, I did not. This is a false assumption.
You just went into all the reasons why picking her as a woman was
no. Are you saying that all women are underqualified?
All what?
Yeah, you just said that that Biden did not pick somebody with qualifications outside of their gender or race, and you're saying that is what I just said. No, I said that he was just picking a woman. So you're saying that all women are underqualified? I'm so sorry. You could be a woman and qualified, sir. But anyways, to get back to what I just said, okay, so if Kamala Harris was not picked because of her background, because of her accomplishments, and purely because of her race or gender, then explain to me why she was significantly more qualified than Donald Trump. What the fuck does this tell us about him? If she had no qualifications to legitimately serve in that role, in the role as the president of America, apart from her gender and race, wow, then Donald Trump just must have been the worst candidate ever. Regardless of the lens in which we'd evaluate this issue with, Kamala Harris was more qualified than Donald Trump, and that was obvious. Rather, we want to evaluate this issue.
She's never worked in business. She's never had a job outside of politics, and also she had no plan to bring manufacturing jobs back to. What's that?
You're interrupting me?
No, I thought it was my turn to talk. I mean, you want to keep going, dude. But she did not have a plan to bring jobs back to America, manufacturing jobs. Go ahead. If you weren't done, go ahead.
Okay, well, I mean, I'll just dispute that last part. Unironically, she did. So the plan of the Biden-Harris administration was, instead of like tariffing every other country on Earth, which produces negative economic outcomes for us and the rest of the planet, their idea was, if we could subsidize industries and give them money to invest into their productive capacities, we'll dominate more of like the global manufacturing, the global push for more manufacturing. And I mean, this is a good idea because A, it naturally prices American-made goods back into the market compared to forcing them to be priced back into the market via the implementation of tariffs. And B, because, well, it worked. I mean, under the Biden-Harris administration, we saw a very sharp increase in investment in manufacturing in America. Now, after the beginning of Donald Trump's second term, it's gone stagnant once more. And I'd also like to clarify that Donald Trump has also given no plan for bringing back American manufacturing. In fact, he is bad for American manufacturing.
I disagree with that completely. That's exactly what he's trying to do right now.
Do you think that he's using the tariffs he's imposing on other countries as a tool?
No, do you mind going back to DEI, what I was originally talking about?
You're the one that pivoted to manufacturing, sir. I want to be able to finish this out.
No, you pivoted to Kamala. That's what I didn't want to talk about Trump and Kamala.
Wait, you didn't want to talk about Donald Trump and Kamala Harris?
No.
Okay, well, we are unironically here to talk about why you support Donald Trump.
I just said I'm against everything you guys do and have been doing for the past 10 years.
Oh, great. Got it. So you're against the PACT Act, the 800. So I just want to clarify, you're against everything that Democrats have done.
Trans issues,
so Mike,
which is a loser. And
if you're against everything that Democrats have done in the last 10 years, you just hated the PACT Act. That was an $800 million investment into the expansion of VA healthcare benefits. That was terrible. If you're against everything that the Democrats have done in the last 10 years, you were against the Chips and Science Act, making America go from producing 1% of the global chip supply to 30. You were against the infrastructure bill, a $500 billion investment into and you're interrupting me, and now I lost it. Mike, what the fuck are we doing?
And you and I are just having. Listen, man, I'm not upset. If you're not upset, I'm not trying to interrupt you. I'm just.
So then stop interrupting me.
No, well, you're interrupting me as well, and you're not letting me talk.
So once again, you made the claim that you were against everything that the Democrats have done in the last 10 years. So just to
like
clarify,
I don't like anything.
Every single policy passed by the Biden-Harris administration was bad, correct?
And I don't know why Kamala didn't do that manufacturing stuff you told me about when she was in office.
Mike,
I don't know why we had to elect her.
Mike.
She was vice president. How much more of a
Mike.
position of power do you need?
Mike, they did. They
Yes,
passed the
Dean,
Chips
go
and
ahead.
Science Act and the infrastructure bill under the Biden-Harris administration, investing into American manufacturing, which increased domestic production. Okay, investment into American manufacturing. But I want to clarify. You said that you were against everything that Democrats have done in the last 10 years. So you were against every single piece of legislation influenced to get passed through Congress by the Biden-Harris administration. True?
The majority of look, I didn't even look at all that stuff. If you guys are giving puberty blockers to children and calling it moral, you don't belong running hot
Holy
dog
fucking
stands.
pivot. Holy fucking pivot.
It-
Wow, I need a neck brace after that one, Mike.
It's not a pivot.
And
Dean.
now you're going to interrupt
guys
me
went
while I'm
insane.
responding to the pivot? You're fucking crazy. You're so crazy.
I'm not crazy, buddy.
You're so
I'm not
fucking
crazy.
crazy. Yes, you are, bro. It's because I'm trying to make a point, and then you're like, but trans children, and then I'm like, holy pivot, and then you interrupt me, and then you just continue to go down that. Oh my God. Listen. First and foremost, Mike, I'll have this be very known. Okay? Kamala Harris ran on no policy for trans individuals, including trans youth. So whenever you come to me with an idea that, oh, she was going to make it so 8-year-olds could chop off their penises, it is just all Republican propaganda. In fact, I wish that Kamala Harris's campaign was more inclusive of trans Americans, and it is the case that it was not inclusive enough because she didn't talk about trans Americans at all. But a huge fucking pivot. The reason why I think that's a pivot, the reason why that is a pivot is because I was asking you if you disagree with every single piece of policy passed by the Biden-Harris administration in the last 4 years, because you said everything the Democrats have done in the last 10 years was bad. Okay. Well, if every single thing that the Democrats have done in the last 10 years is bad, that means a PACT Act.
On this woke crap and this weird trans agenda and giving billions of dollars to Ukraine.
This weird trans.
And
Wait. How many trans athletes compete in the NCAA?
They've taken around 900 medals.
How many trans athletes compete in the NCAA?
Plenty. Enough. None should be.
Did you know that Donald Trump has been accused of rape by more women than there is trans athletes in the NCAA?
Transitioning to men don't compete with men.
Hey, Mike, did you know that more women have accused Donald Trump of rape than there is trans athletes competing in the NCAA?
That doesn't matter. There's other sports they're taking
scholarships.
Oh,
right. That doesn't matter. Of course that doesn't fucking matter. Yes. Because you use 0.01% of the American population as the scapegoat. Did you know that in the last election that the third largest thing that Maga and Republican PAC spent money on was messaging against trans Americans? When they only account for 0.01% of the American population, it is fucking disgusting. It is so gross. And then for you to say, oh, well, yeah, Donald Trump being a rapist, that doesn't matter. But you know what? Trans people living their lives, fuck them all. In fact, I want to go ahead and ask you a question about that real quick. Do you think that trans women should be able to use a women's restroom?
Biden was accused of rape too.
Oh, who? By Tara Reid?
Women accused him? What, you don't believe all women, Dean?
Well, I don't believe Tara Reid, and I'll tell you why. But I want to clarify. Do you believe Tara Reid?
How about that?
Do you believe Tara Reid?
A woman accused him of rape. You just said something like Donald Trump's been accused of rape.
Do you believe Tara Reid?
She's not the only one.
Okay, who else?
I love you denying a woman's rape story, Dean.
So, Mike, yes or no, do you believe Tara Reid?
I never looked into her story, but a woman accused him of rape, and now you're telling. Now you're going to go on air and say
I just want to
that
get this clear. Yes, I want to get this clear. Was that a yes, a no, or an unsure?
If it were a Republican, you wouldn't even. You would be all over.
Hey, Mike, just real quick. Can I please get a yes,
trying to play
a no?
Questions.
Hey, Mike, can I please get a yes, a no, or an unsure?
You only care about the rape accusations against Trump.
I'll get the yap out of here. Tara Reid accused Biden of rape. Do you believe her? Yes, no, or unsure?
I just answered you.
No, you didn't.
And you only care because now I'm saying it's against a Democrat. If it were against a Republican, you wouldn't care about Tara Reid's story. You'd automatically believe it.
Okay. So that's not true. The reason that's not true is because Tara Reid's lawyer dropped her as a client because she had contradicted herself multiple times in court, and then she fled the fucking country, and then she went to Russia, and she joined a right-leaning misinformation campaign. And I don't care if a woman is raped by a Republican or a Democrat. Like, all instances of rape matter. Every single one needs to be properly addressed, needs to be evaluated, and there needs to be accountability and punishment. That is the only way that we do not prevent more harm to more women from continuing to be perpetuated on this earth.
Are we going to go back to DEI? Can you ask?
But I want you to answer my question. Do you believe Tara Reade?
If I answer that question, will you go back to DEI?
I'm going
wanna
to finish
talk to you
making
now.
my argument, you fucking stupid idiot. Maybe I have an argument to make too,
Man, what?
but maybe the only reason you don't know that is because you are literally unable to engage in a debate with me.
Once you start throwing insults, you've lost. I've not insulted you once, Dean, and believe me, I don't like you. And I've not insulted you once. I've been nothing but respectful to you. I may talk over you every once in a while.
If you were nothing but respectful to me, you would have answered my question the first time I asked it 5 minutes ago.
I
You have
already
still not answered the question.
about
Do you
the
believe,
woman
do you
who's
not
raped,
believe,
or
or
you're
are you
denying
unsure
because it's
about
against
Tara
the
Reade?
Democrat. You're denying her rape accusation because it's against a Democrat. You would do
No, I'm denying her rape accusation because she contradicted herself 3 times in court. Her lawyer dropped her as a client. She fled the country, moved to Russia, and joined a Republican misinformation campaign. Mike?
rape is sexy. She said that on CNN. Do you believe her?
Mike, I have no clue what you just said.
Once
again, my question is
because it's an accuser against Trump, so you don't even know. She went on CNN and said rape is sexy.
How much do
Go to
you wanna bet?
YouTube and type it in.
How much do you want to bet?
That the woman that accused Trump of rape
Let's bet money.
went on CNN and said people think rape is sexy.
Oh, there you go, Mike. There you go, Mike. You just changed the claim. You went from saying she thinks grape is sexy to saying that other people think grape is sexy. As soon as I brought up the idea that you want to, as soon as I brought up the idea that you want to bet money, hey, I'm willing to talk to you about that. But before we do, I'm not going to let you pivot away from the question. My question to you is, once again, do you believe Tara Reade?
Why do you care so much?
Oh my God, it's a fucking debate.
Do you believe
Mike.
your friend Harry?
Do you believe Tara Reade?
Do you believe Harry?
What the fuck? Harry is not relevant in this conversation in the slightest. Mike, I am going to give you one last opportunity to answer the question before I simply don't crash out and I kick you from the server. I mean, it's super simple, Mike. Act your age. It is crazy that I, a 20-year-old, am more responsible and more mature and more intelligent than you. A likely 70-year-old man? So
you're embarrassing yourself.
No, I'm embarrassing you.
Don't tell people you're smarter than that. That's so pretentious. That's so, and you're paid by the DNC to be a mouthpiece for them. I'm not paid. This is coming from my soul.
Hey, Mike.
I think that the party you support is insane. They give puberty blockers to children.
Hey, Mikey, I put you on mute. Nobody could hear you. Just wondering if you have any evidence that I'm paid for by the DNC. Josh, thank you for the $20 on Venmo saying keep on keeping on. I appreciate you for the love, Josh. Thank you so much.
I can tell you are.
And then
Any
Autumn,
white
thank you so
guy
much for the
that's
$10
supporting a
over on
political
PayPal.
ideology that hates him is a coward.
Okay, well,
the left hates you. The left hates white people. You support them. That's spineless.
If the left,
you should be a man and stand up to them.
If the left hates white men so much, how come I got a private invite to a Christmas party at the White House? Get the fuck out of here.
Mr.
Get the fuck out of here. Like, get the fuck out of here. Come on, you're crashing out. Dude, it is so funny because, like, that is, like, the biggest counter argument against what this guy is saying. All right? They'll try to convince you that the left hates white guys, so white guys are pushed towards the right. No, that's not true at all. The left just wants equality for everybody, not just white guys. And from a position of privilege, equality seems like oppression to an uneducated mind. Okay? But some people like Mike are more verbally clear and they'll be like, the left hates you. No, the left doesn't hate white guys. The left just hates ideas that a lot of white guys think because they've existed in a place in society where they've not had to question oppression. They've not had to experience racism. They've not had to experience misogyny. So in the lack of additional education that you have to look for, it doesn't come to you, you are more likely than other demographics of individuals to hold very regressive, harmful beliefs, right? But if you don't hold those beliefs and you try to be a good person, you try to be an intellectual person that critically thinks and evaluates these issues, well, then all of a sudden, who does the left hate? Definitely not you, right? You're a good person, right? I mean, if the left hated me so much because I'm a white guy, I probably wouldn't have over 4,000 viewers on a YouTube live stream with a 95% left audience. I probably wouldn't have close to 3 million followers on TikTok. Probably wouldn't have been written about by the New York Times and been sent on a plane to the White House. So the claim that the left just hates white people is incredibly
You're a very
wrong.
accomplished guy. Can I say something? Do you mind if
No, because I want you to answer the question. You said I was paid for by the DNC. Please give me evidence.
millions of brown and black people fight to live here every year, not to be oppressed? Not to be oppressed. The white oppression thing's a lie, buddy. Millions flock here every year to live with us, so we must not be oppressive. And they're earning more than we are.
Okay.
So we're not oppressive.
So first and foremost,
It's
I'm
white
just going to
hate.
go
You
ahead
spread
and just
hate.
respond
You
to
guys-
those false claims. So you said that millions of individuals that are not white immigrate to America, which must mean that America is not prejudiced or oppressive towards individuals in which are not white. No, that's not true at all. So the reason why individuals immigrate to America is because they believe that they'll have a higher quality of life. Okay? So you could relatively have a higher quality of life even though systems of oppression exist. And if anything, that makes it worse. Because these individuals are willing to give up everything they know. These individuals are willing to spend their last dollar to get into America. These individuals are willing, in some circumstances, to even break the law because of how bad the legal means of entry are into America, just to be met with a quality of life that is relatively higher than the one that they experienced at home, but they still are dealing with a president that's calling them all rapists, that's calling them all MS-13 gang members, right? Or even at the end of the day, I'm sure for a lot of these individuals, it's an incredibly low quality of life because of these systems of oppression that they didn't know exist before they got here. Anyway,
The numbers don't show they're oppressed.
I am
The
going to
numbers
go
show-
ahead. Actually, the numbers do show that non-white people in America have less opportunity than white people in America. This is evidently clear through average income, average net worth, as well as it's evidently clear through the disproportionate amount of white individuals in leadership positions across our country, rather that be the presidency, rather that be Congress, rather that be Fortune 500 company CEOs, rather that be in positions of power in American institutions, okay? But once again, you told me that I was paid by the DNC. I want you to tell me your evidence.
It's a predominantly white country, Dean. We're like, white people don't owe this world anything. We don't owe people positions.
It's a predominantly white country insofar as over 50% of the people in America are white. I think it's like 53, right? But over 70% of Fortune 500 CEOs are white. So that's why I said disproportionately. Jesus Christ. Anyways,
We're allowed to start
I'm gonna
companies.
ask you a question. My question is, do you have any evidence that I'm paid for by the DNC?
We're allowed to be successful. We don't owe this world anything because we're.
You're crashing out, man. You made the claim that I was paid by the DNC. I'm once again just going to ask you for any evidence for that claim.
I can just tell I worked in politics for 20 years. You're paid, Mr.
Okay, so you
White
can
House
just tell,
invite.
So you don't have any evidence?
Dude, you're being paid. And
By
if
who?
you're not, you're just spineless.
So who
The
am I
left
being- who am
hates
I-
you, white man.
Okay.
The left doesn't even like.
Okay, well, I just kicked him. The reason why I just kicked him is because I unironically just spent 10 minutes proving to him that he was wrong. And then he just doesn't listen, and then he hits back with the same garbage. Like, oh my God. Yeah, honestly, I'd classify that as like near like Nazi propaganda. The left hates you, white man. Whoa, you better hate the left then. Wow. 2 sentences. All of a sudden, you hate progression. What's going on, Leo? Do you support Trump?
Yeah, sure. I support Trump.
All right. Paul, thank you so much for the $50 super chat over on YouTube saying bi-weekly DNC paycheck to buy the bots. Thank you so much for the love, Paul. Thank you so much. It means the world. Thank you so much, Mr. Paul. That is very, very kind of you. As well as Alan with a $100 super chat over on YouTube saying another leftist old white dude that loves you, brother. Alan, that is so incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much for the love, Alan. Everybody, please show some love to Alan down below in the chat. That is seriously so incredibly kind. At least 1,000 W's for Alan, as well as 200 W's for Rebecca. Rebecca says the bigots are out in bigly in numbers tonight. You might need another anxiety pin before the night is over. You're right. I might. Thank you for the love, Rebecca. Thank you for the love, everyone. Yeah, the guests tonight are pretty rough. My cortisol levels are to the moon, quite frankly. Leo.
Hey, do you want to know why I support Trump?
Yeah.
So basically, Kamala Harris believes the earth is rounded. And I don't believe that.
Does Donald Trump think the
I
earth is
believe the
round?
earth is flat.
Does Donald Trump think the earth is round?
No, Trump thinks the earth is flat.
Really? Really, Leo? What? How do you know this? How do you know that Trump thinks the earth is flat?
He told me
Leo, I know that you're a troll.
on Twitter.
Leo, I know that you're a troll, but the funny thing is you sound identical to the last
Yeah,
five
I'm a
guests I've
troll,
had on
bro.
live.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Because he sounds just the same as the last 5 guests that have been on the live. What's going on, Maga? Do you support Trump?
Trump thinks the earth is flat.
Maga, you're on the live.
God dang, you're so far!
At least I have the ability to pretty quickly kick him. Hey, what's going on? Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I support Trump.
How old are you?
I'm 18.
What year were you born in?
2006.
2006? You mean
Yeah,
2006?
Yeah.
Okay. What month?
October.
All right. Why do you support Trump?
I'm a fan of his abortion policies.
Why is that?
I think abortion is murder.
I think that the only reason you think it's murder to kill a fetus is because you're fighting for your own rights.
You know what fetus means in Latin?
Well, whatever the definition is, I think it's quite
It means
possible you're
offspring.
included under that definition.
Which is the same as a child. So when you abort a fetus, you're aborting a child.
Okay. All right. Let's see if he has a coherent position. So why is a fetus morally valuable?
Because they have potential
Potential for
to live.
to live? What does potential to live mean?
You have the potential to be unique and live by yourself.
Fetus, you have the potential to live by yourself? Sorry. The likelihood of somebody over the age of 18 making that argument is very low. What's up, Dave? Do you support Trump? Space D Nation!
Yeah.
Thank you for the $20 super chat over on YouTube saying, give him hell, Dean. I'll never stop. Thank you for the love. All right, why is that, Dave? Why do you support Trump?
Just give me 1 second here.
Okie dokie.
Sorry.
It's okay, Dave.
All right. So why do I support Trump? Is what you asked.
Yep.
Well, I mean, he was just the better option overall. If how Joe Biden's presidency was any indication how Kamala was going to do it.
Whoa. 1 second.
And that she didn't have a whole.
Let's make sure that we could pronounce words. Okay, her name is Kamala.
Kamala, yeah.
Kamala, you did it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Anyways, yeah. Also, she didn't really have a lot of policy plans put out for people to know about and stuff, and common
She had more
regular stuff
policy.
you've heard. All the normal shit.
She had more policy than Trump, unironically. So not only was her economic policy more developed than Trump's, but she had housing affordability policy. He didn't. She had healthcare policy. He didn't. She had more policy than him.
Like what?
I just told you.
Yeah, you said an economic policy that was more better or whatever.
So I said that her
what-
economic
what
policy was
the
more fleshed
specifics?
out than his. The reason why I say that was because she had a plan exactly for how she was going to pay for her tax cuts. Meanwhile, Donald Trump didn't. And then further yet on top of that, she just straight up had housing affordability policy and healthcare policy in which he didn't have any.
Mm,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah. And then also you said that you didn't like the Biden-Harris administration. What was one bad thing they did?
Name one bad thing they did.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Afghanistan was pretty bad. Leaving Afghanistan the way they did.
The pullout?
I mean,
Who's a pullout
it's
organized
not
by?
hard to find. It's not hard to find bad things any president has done.
So
Every president
who's
has
a
done.
pullout of Afghanistan organized by?
Who was Afghanistan organized by?
The pullout. Whose plan was that?
It was Donald Trump's. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know the guy that like suicide bombed and killed 13 service members?
Uh huh.
Did you know that that was a member of the Taliban who's actually held in a prison in an American camp
Mhm.
in Afghanistan
Yeah.
that was only released
Okay.
because Donald Trump brokered a deal with the Taliban to release 5,000 Taliban prisoners. So not only
Mhm.
did Trump organize the pullout, but he's also the one that released that prisoner from jail,
So
in which he then
Okay,
went on to
hang on.
suicide bomb the 13 service members.
hang
And
on.
there were
do you-
65 service
Yeah.
members that died under Donald Trump's first administration.
Okay. All right. What would you have suggested they do with the Taliban prisoners when they were planning on pulling out of Afghanistan? Should they have killed them?
No, I don't think that they should have killed them. And I'm pretty sure that
So
was
they
a part of
should
a
have. They would have
negotiation.
had to release them to the people who would have been in charge of Afghanistan, which would have been the Taliban, which is currently the Taliban.
I have a better idea. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Neither of us are experts on geopolitical conflicts and the Taliban. So I feel like I'm pretty comfortable in just responding that I don't know. But I do know that releasing 5,000 individuals from this prison and then organizing a very, having this very disorganized, bad plan for a pullout from Afghanistan, in which he then boasted about not informing the incoming presidency on until the last minute, was like probably not the right
Not
solution. But I just want to
not
clarify.
informing the president until the.
So the reason that you voted for Trump was because of the
Well, okay. Can you just hold
Afghanistan
up for a
pullout?
second there, Dean?
Sure.
Can you just hold up for a second there? Because what you just said okay, so he wasn't informed about the 5,000 Taliban prisoners being released until the last minutes, but it
Yeah.
was his administration who's responsible for informing him on those things. So that would be a problem with the administration, his cabinet picks and stuff, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be a problem with the Trump administration. Yeah.
No, with Biden's.
It was the Trump administration who didn't inform the Biden administration until the last minute.
Okay, yeah, but so how would that be even? Because wouldn't it be the Biden's? How would they not until the last minute? I don't understand how that works out.
Because like
How would they not know? Isn't there
Because, like,
paperwork on all these things? Wouldn't there
you
have
understand
been,
that yeah, you're talking about like the paperwork that's typically done in early January to aid and abet in like the passing of the torch, the peaceful transfer of power. They didn't do that either. Actually, like the Trump administration waited until the last minute to do everything that was required to vacate the White House because he was actively trying to still yet install himself for a second term or find
Okay,
any fucking
so
way
the
to hang
last
on to
minute-
power.
the last minute would be that day, though, wouldn't it? Or did he wait until after that day to somehow have the power to inform him on this classified information? It's not the storyline that you're
I'm
telling
unaware
isn't
of the-
really.
What's wrong with what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure it's January 5th.
It's not consistent. The story itself doesn't really
I'm
logically
pretty sure-
work out.
I think it does. I think that January 15th is the day in which like the old administration has to file a bunch of paperwork to kind of prep the White House for the incoming administration. And then they kind of start the process of transferring of the power. Donald Trump's cabinet refused to fill out said paperwork and tried to hold on to their power. You know that
For how
like
long?
Trump straight well, for as long as they could. You know that like Donald Trump straight up tried to steal the election from Biden in 2020?
I'm just so for how long would that be until the
Did you know
21st
that?
of January? Because after that, they would be out of their positions of power.
Just
to pass
answer
the
my
courts of
question.
power.
Did you know that? Did you know that Trump tried to steal the election from Biden in 2020?
Yeah, I know about the electors and stuff.
How does that
But
make you feel?
I'm just confused. I'm just confused at how this is concurrently, like how this is a debate, because you're not even debating me. I'm just I'm like giving you answers to your questions, and I'm questioning the things you're saying, and then you just keep moving to one thing to the next thing to the next thing. We're not even having an honest discussion about what you're talking about.
What do you need
just,
clarification
I answer
on?
one question and you move on. Is this an interview or a debate?
What do you need clarification on?
I don't. I keep asking you questions about the things you're telling me.
Sure.
That you should have the answers to if you're so steadfast in your
let
position
me know what
on these events.
So then let me know what you would like clarification on.
Okay. So if we're holding off to file the paperwork as long as possible, what was the possible? Like what you said up until the point, obviously there was a point where push comes to shove, they have to do it by this date.
It was
What
likely
is
the
that
day of
date?
the inauguration. I don't know for sure though.
Okay, so the 21st.
Likely, but I don't know for sure.
Wouldn't that be timely enough? Because Biden wouldn't be in the office to receive the information until the 21st anyways, at the inauguration. So it seems like you're just making something up.
So
Like the
actually,
story is stuff. I'm not you. The story
actually no.
made
So
up.
there's
I don't wanna put
there's
words
like a
in your mouth.
transfer of
I'm sorry.
information prior to inauguration.
Okay.
But real quick, Sid with the $20 says Parker sends us to say that he is the most diabolical guest. Dude, I feel like I've had the most diabolical guest all day long. I feel like that's been me, bro.
Your position is so stupid, right? That's the end goal of this.
Should we join Parker chat? It's up to you guys. Should we join him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we'll join him.
Yeah.
Hey Dave, appreciate you for the convo, man. All right, let me tell everybody in the queue on Discord real quick that if they still want to debate, they just have to go to Parker's TikTok. I'm gonna stay live on YouTube though, so you guys just stay where you're at. Hey, for everybody in the queue, I think that there's like maybe over 10 people in here. I am gonna be moving all the debates from Discord now over to TikTok. So if you still want a chance to debate, go over to @Parker Get a Real Job on TikTok and just join the guest request over there. See y'all. All right. I think now we're just going to should we just straight up nuke this server? Like, it probably has like a couple hundred of like the worst people ever. Should we just straight up nuke this server? And just like remake it whenever we want to? I would. Yeah, I agree. I'm just gonna delete this server. I'm just gonna delete the server. There's like probably like 50 Nazis, 75 self-described racists. Like we're gonna nuke the server. And then any time that we want to do these debates, we'll just make another server like that. Don't you? Okay. How do you guys feel about that idea? Like of me like making a new server, a new temporary server like that whenever we do debates like that. Way better. W? You liked it? Yeah. I thought it was a decent idea because, then I wasn't just like inviting Nazis with open arms into like the Dean server. You know what I mean? Because I remember I did that a long time ago, and it was, like, terrible. So instead, we just make that new server, turn off all of the abilities for any access to any chat, and then nuke it afterwards. Okay. Well, give me a second, you guys. I'm just gonna go ahead and switch my mic over from the computer to the phone, and then plug it back into the computer.